Yo, what's up guys? This is Keeping It Real. We're back today with another film review, this time for Ben Affleck's latest drama, The Way Back. Released in some countries with the title Finding the Way Back, it's another film release that's been disrupted because of the coronavirus pandemic, and so instead it's had its home premiere on Amazon. I'm hesitant to call it a sports drama because if that's what you go in expecting, you're probably going to feel shortchanged by the ending, because I know I did. Watching the trailers with slow-mo shots of basketballs sailing towards hoops or stadiums going wild, you definitely get the vibe that this is an underdog film. Technically you wouldn't be wrong to call it a sports drama, and in many ways that's the easiest way to label it, but The Way Back walks this tightrope of never knowing whether to be predominantly a sports film or predominantly a drama film, and that works both in favour of and detriment to your appreciation of it, which I will get to shortly. The Way Back follows Jack Cunningham, Ben Affleck's struggling and troubled alcoholic who is offered a position coaching basketball for a failing team back at his old high school. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor, who also directed the Ben Affleck flick The Accountant, or more importantly Warrior, one of my favourite sports dramas with some god-tier performances from Tom Hardy and Nick Nolte, horrendously underrated and a film that managed to reduce me to tears, so we are in capable hands here. I recognise that it's very hard for a film about sports to rise above the stereotypes associated with it and bring something new to the table. You know, is The Way Back an underdog movie? Absolutely. Does the coach find healing and purpose through coaching? Yes. Is the team made up of a bunch of misfits like the shy leader and the confrontational hotheads? Yes. Do the team find something in each other that they don't otherwise possess in themselves? Yes. And O'Connor seems self-aware of these traits and at times tries to subvert our expectations of the predictable. And the result is almost successful. So my one problem with this film is the ending, and spoiler alert here, but Ben Affleck's character suffers many ups and downs throughout the film regarding his alcoholism, and it's explained that he uses that as a coping mechanism after losing a child and ruining his marriage. So his journey of redemption inevitably gets his team into the playoffs, and just before that match, he is then fired from the position for drinking on the job and slipping back into his older habits. And while that is a soul-crushing blow to the character, as a viewer you think, oh it's fine, he's going to rock up unannounced at the end of the game and see his team through to their hard-earned victory. But he doesn't. It ends on a much more subdued note, with Affleck shooting hoops alone on the coast while the audio commentary of his team winning plays over the scene. And it's curiously ambivalent, you know, we don't get the visual satisfaction of seeing his team win, characters we've followed throughout the film, nor do we get the resolution of him making peace with the team, or even confirmation that he's going to be okay. And for me, it took me by surprise, you know, we followed this underdog checklist for most of the film and all of a sudden it feels like it's dropped and the credits are rolling. It feels like it ends about 10 minutes too soon, and maybe that's my fault as a viewer for presupposing the ending. I just think that this subversion came too late in the film for it to be anything other than a shock. It's the type of movie we've seen time and time again up until about 15 minutes before it ends, and then it decides to deny us that epic win we've all been craving. And that for me is why you can't look at it as a sports film, because that final intense match where the team score the winning hoop with only seconds left on the timer comes much earlier in the film. And it's almost as if O'Connor is deliberately wanting to remind us that this film is about Jack Cunningham and his journey of grief and learning to emotionally process that. It's not a sad ending by any means, and for a character who suffers so immensely throughout, you'd like to think that that striking sunset and the coastal setting represent some sort of hope and liberation for the character going forwards. Even if we don't get to see it, you know, it is very much at the behest of the viewer and how you want to interpret the scene. But as a drama film, The Way Back is beautiful. It's painful and subtle, and Affleck is totally convincing in the role, you know, reluctant to share and externalise, and instead coming across as that macho man carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, yet unwilling to share the load. Even though I said the content of this film is kind of like an underdog movie, the way that O'Connor decides to shoot it is more gritty and realistic and refuses to be seen as anything that archetypal. Instead of being colourful and bright, he shoots it in those kind of neutral beige and blue tones that indicates that you're watching a heavy-hitting drama. And the music by Rob Simonson is a big part of what makes this film so emotionally powerful. It's not very dramatic, it's not very loud, it instead relies on a kind of gentle piano melody that feels heavy but with undertones of faith and uplift that perfectly harmonises and complements the character Affleck is trying to bring to life. Overall, The Way Back is an emotional slam dunk that on one hand offers you this cliched tale of perseverance and triumph, but on the other encourages you to invest in a man who is punishing himself and unable to reconcile with the fact that a lot of the traumas in his life weren't his fault. And that for me is where The Way Back becomes something more and thrives by itself and really exceeds those stereotypes that we go in with. I would definitely recommend watching this film, guys. I'm hoping my review hasn't put you off that much, but thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Go check out the other videos I've got up on my channel. Got lots more content coming up soon, so stay tuned and thank you for watching. Have a good day.